Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a book review. I have books from Lucy Score and Ali Hazelwood to go through today. So yeah, we're going to do that. Sorry for the background change. Currently our power is out because of the wind that was happening the last couple days. Kind of pushed down one of the power lines, so they're trying to fix it, but this will have to do. We've got the window providing us with the light that we have today. So yeah, that's what we're gonna have to work with. I mean, it's good lighting, but it's not my regular background because the basement is pitch black. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop on into the book review. So the first book that I will be talking about is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Love on the Brain is a romantic novel. It's fiction. It's a contemporary romance book. There is 368 pages in this book. So it's a pretty decent sized book. This book got released August 23rd of 2022, so about 2 years old now. And the tropes in this book are like grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers, that type of gist, which I personally really like. The first half of the book is based on like a misunderstanding and lack of communication. This book is fun and humorous, and it has that romance between workplace rivals. I will read the back of the book. B's theory was right. Forcing a scientist to work with her nemesis triggers explosive results. Like an avenging purple-haired Jedi bringing balance to the mansplayed universe, BK lives by a simple code. What would Mary Curie do? If NASA ordered Mary her dream neuroengineering project, would she accept without hesitation? Duh, but the mother of modern physics never had to co-lead with Levi Ward. Sure, Levi has soul-piercing eyes, and sure, he caught her in his powerful cordly arms like a romantic hero would when she accidentally damseled in distress herself on her first day at the lab. But Levi made his feelings towards B clear in grad school. Arch nemesis work best when employed by their own galaxies, far, far away. Now her equipment is missing, the staff ignores her, and B finds her floundering career in somewhat of a pickle. Perhaps it's her occipital cortex playing tricks on her. But B could swear she sees Levi softening into an ally, backing her plays, devouring her with those eyes, and the possibilities have all their neurons firing. But when it comes time to actually make the move and put her heart on the line, there's only one question that matters. What would BK do? So that is the back of the book. I liked the book. I don't think it was a favorite of mine, but I did enjoy it. This book has a lot of like more challenging kind of scientific words. So if you are into like those smart sounding scientific words and just know a lot more about science than probably I do, you would probably enjoy this book a lot more than I did. I always love the enemies to lovers trope. Overall, I like the book, but I don't know if it would be a book that I would like go into my bookshelf and choose to read again. Yeah, I would recommend it to probably anyone. Give it a shot. See if you like it, if you like enemies to lovers or grumpy sunshine or work rival. I rate it a 2.5 stars out of 5. So the next ones that I chose is actually a series. You've probably seen these all over TikTok. There's these 3 books here. I'm gonna keep them on the side here. We'll start with the first one. So the first one is Things We Never Got Over. This is a romance fiction with a little bit of thriller. There is 562 pages in this book. This book got released January 12th of 2022, and the tropes are like grumpy sunshine, small town romance, age gap romance. It's not like a huge age gap. I believe that she's like 36 and he's 42. I will read the back of the book. Knox Morgan doesn't tolerate drama, especially in the form of a stranded runaway bride. Naomi Witt is on the run, not just from her fiancé and a church full of well-wishers, but from her entire life. Although, if you ask her, Naomi's riding to the rescue of her estranged hot mess of a twin, Tina, to Knockmount, a rough around the edges town, where disputes are settled in an old-fashioned way with fists and beer, usually in that order. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and cash, Tina leaves behind something unexpected. A niece Naomi didn't know she had. Now she's a guardian to an 11-year-old going on 30 with no car, no money, and no plan. There's a reason this bearded bad boy barber doesn't get involved with high-maintenance women, especially not type A romantic ones. But since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least Knox can do is help her out of a jam. And just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can leave her alone and get back to his quiet, solitary life. At least, that's the plan. Just know that there is a lot of swearing in this book. For some reason in my head, I'm kind of stuck on the like young adult kind of side of the romance. So kind of hearing that they're like 36 and 42, I was like, whoa, that's a lot like later in life than I'm used to reading about. So it was like almost that the writing style was written in a way that they were supposed to be like in their 20s. And that's kind of the vibe you get with it. I guess the immaturity of the characters makes you think that they are going to be like 20 years old when they're actually 32 and 42, or 36 and 42. I like the tropes in the book. I like the small town setting in the book. I think it's perfect for the gossip and everything that goes around. I just think that the writing style was pretty basic. Like it's a really easy read, but they did not get portrayed as their own age. They got portrayed a lot younger, I would say. And I believe that this book was about 200 pages too long. Like they could have easily cut out 200 pages and the book would have been, I think, better. I really like a line in this book, quote, "You get to decide how you show up in this world. No one gets to dictate to you who you are," end quote. I would recommend to people if they are a little bit more patient in reading, because it does kind of drag on. But I rated this book a 3 out of 5 stars. So yeah. Next book in the series is the pink one, and it's Things We Hide from the Light. So this is another romance fiction. It has some mystery and some romantic suspense. This book has 594 pages. The release date was February 21st of 2023, so almost 2 years now. And again, it's a small town romance trope, forced proximity trope, and friends to lover trope. So I will read the back. Police Chief Nash Morgan is known for 2 things: being a good guy and the way his uniform accentuates his butt. 2 bullets put a dent in that southern charm, but thankfully spared his spectacular rear end. He got his hands full with the man who shot him, still on the loose. Healing wounds, and citizens that think the law is more of a guideline. Throw in the gloomy mood that clings to him, and the last thing he needs is a smart-mouthed, gorgeous new neighbor making him feel things he doesn't have the energy to feel. Lena S. has her reasons for being in town. She's on a mission, and the fewer people that find out about it, the better. She does her best to work alone, and as soon as she finds what she's after, she's hitting the road for her next solo adventure. Too bad the town of Knockmount has other ideas. Soon, Lena finds herself stuck into a small town life. Dog sitting, saying yes to a bridesmaid's dress, listening to a sexy chief of police. I don't think I can add that in. But when Nash finds out why she's there, flirty friends become furious enemies. The sparks flying don't know the difference between lust and hate. When danger forces them together, it's only a matter of time before they both get burned. So the story was pretty good. It was a lot about Nash's wounds and his shots that was too much, and the slump that he was in. I feel like it was way too much into that. It was almost annoying to have to read about it so much. Her writing's easy to read. I really like the banter, and the relationship was fun to read between the two of them. And the neighbor getting involved in the relationship on like telling each person to do something is just so funny to me. But I would recommend, especially if you're gonna read the first book, you gotta read all three. So I would definitely recommend those. I give this one a 2.5 stars out of 5. So the final book of the series is Things We Left Behind. It's the purple book. So this book is a romance book. It has suspense, mystery, and it's a fiction book. 592 pages. Release date is September 15th of 2023. So we just went over a year with this book. The tropes are a second chance, grumpy sunshine, enemies with benefits, and enemies to lovers, and forced proximity. So the back says, "There was only one woman who could set me free, but I would rather set myself on fire than ask Sloane Welton for anything." Lucien Rollins is a lean, mean, vengeance-seeking mogul. On a quest to erase his abusive father's mark on the family name, he spends every waking minute pulling strings and building his empire. The more money and power he gains, the safer he feels. Except when it comes to one feisty small-town librarian. Bonded by an old dark secret from the past and their current mutual disdain, Sloane Walton trusts Lucien as about as far as she can throw his designer-suited body. When bickering accidentally turns into foreplay, the flames are fanned and it's impossible to put them out again. But when Sloane is more than ready to start a family and Lucien refuses to even consider the idea of marriage and kids, these enemies to lovers are stuck with an impasse. Until Lucien learns the hard way that leaving Sloane is impossible. The very least he can do is keep her safe. Okay, a little bit of a different angle. My camera died and I have to finish this book review because I can't just leave it like that. No way. This book is definitely my favorite out of all three of them. Really do like the relationship between Lucien and Sloane. I love the story. Probably my favorite out of all the books, as I said. The banter and the tension was just so good. I love the small town librarian and big boss vibe. And I loved the story even more when I got to learn their history. Finally, it took forever to be able to learn it, but a cute and funny line that I read in this book was, quote, "You were always my business. You always have been and you always will be. The only difference now is that you know it." End quote. Because that quote just shows how protective and how jealous he was the whole time. I rated this one a 3.5 stars out of 5. So for the whole series, all three books, I would definitely recommend it. Just be a little bit patient because for probably like 2 out of 3 of the books, or maybe even all 3, you could have probably taken out 150 to like 300 pages. Depends on the book, but and it also depends on the person reading it, what they think, but that's just personally what I think. So for all 3 books, the total amount of pages is 1,748. And my final thoughts for the whole series is just that I don't know if I would necessarily go into my bookshelf to grab to reread it. I would probably honestly just grab like the first or the third book and I would just reread that if I wanted to. But yeah, and then they could have just taken out those pages, which I mentioned already. So the overall series, I would give it 3 out of 5 stars. Hey guys, a little bit of a pop in here. I forgot to film an outro for my video, so I'm popping in here to do that for you guys. If you guys enjoyed, give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Also leave a comment on any book recommendations you have and I can make a review on. Yeah, and any other videos that you want to see from me, go ahead and pop those in the comments below as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!